Ethereum again? Yes, 4th of July edition. Yes, we're going to go over several different tweets about Ethereum. And guess who jumped on board the train here that we were kind of surprised at, called us all crazy? All next on OG Crypto and NFTs. Welcome everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in cryptocurrencies, blockchain technologies, and non-fungible tokens. And yes, Azuki continues to be in the spotlight here. What a mess they've made of their elementals. We're gonna go over that. That's gonna be the last article. Before we jump into it, do me a favor, hit that like button because you're gonna like what we're gonna hear today. Again, we're just keep unraveling this whole thing with Ethereum, and let's jump right into it. This is a very interesting interview from a team that interviewed Vitalik. He's one of the founders. He's the most popular founder of Ethereum. And we all know that last summer, Ethereum went from proof of work, which is not energy efficient, to proof of stake. Though we were very disappointed that they just moved the label over, but really what did change? Not much. We still see the enormous gas prices and we see enormous, the amount of TPS, transactions per second hasn't changed. So nothing really has changed except for a label. And a lot of people out there said, well, hold on, Troy, we can stake our ETH. Well, you could stake it before, but it was locked up. But today you could stake it and pull it on and off. So you would think that that would be probably the one of the most important things with Ethereum is that I can stake it. A lot of people are out there making anywhere from 3.5% to 6% on their ETH. So much better than putting the money in the bank. Plus, if you really believe in the asset, it's a double plus, right? It's a win-win situation. But a bombshell just came out on an interview here, and let's go listen to what Vitalik has to say.
Probably the biggest reason why I personally am not just staking all of my ETH and I'm instead staking a fairly small portion is because if you stake your ETH, it has to be on the keys that access it have to be public on some system that's online. And for safety, it has to be a multi-sig, and multi-sigs for staking are still fairly difficult to set up. It gets complicated in a bunch of ways.
This is insane. You're telling me that the Ethereum founder, Vitalik, is saying, quote, only a tiny portion am I staking because it seems so hard to deal with. What does that really mean, guys? He doesn't even have a faith in his own network. This is just ridiculous. If I'm anyone on that panel, I'm all over him about this. Whoa, let's reel this back. Ethereum and Vitalik has been in the news now for the last 30 days. ETHgate is exploded. The Hinman emails came out, and Bill Hinman couldn't figure out why no one at the SEC felt that Ethereum was a commodity. So what he did was, in his emails, he called Vitalik to ask him, a Canadian with a Swiss company, about what regulations or how does ETH fit here in the United States as a commodity. What a ridiculousness is all this is. This just shows you that the Ethereum is propped up. And we know that part of the issue here, and will always be the issue, is that when Ethereum first came out, when they did their ICO, there are so many disguised whales. Why? Because they did an absolute security offering. And big institutions all over the world didn't want to be caught up in it. So what did they do? Joseph Lubin came out and said, hey, I'll make up email addresses. I'll make up, wallets for you. I'll do all the dirty things for you as long as you invest into Ethereum. And a lot of these institutions said, yes, we'll go ahead and do it. Wang Zhang, obviously, Vitalik met with him, but I digress. This is just the ridiculousness of Ethereum. I don't know why. I don't know why people love it so much. Well, I kind of do, because I think the influencers are being paid to push it. That's just my perspective. Well, as we transition from the Ethereum or the ETHgate, we see now Charles Hodgkinson of Cardano, and which is kind of ridiculous to think about. Back in December, he just went off. He made a statement that he felt that it was all going to be bad, that Ripple was going to settle with the SEC, and that's the rumor he heard. Then when he heard that, a lot of people came out and said, well, where did you hear it from? And at that point, it just snowballed into him just canceling everybody and blocking all the XRP community, including major influencers and people in the community that hadn't even really said anything to him. He blocked a bunch of them. And he said that the Ethereum ETHgate was a complete farce and it was a conspiracy theory that was out of control. But guess who just jumped on this? Let's go listen to Charles.
But bureaucrat's gonna bureaucrat, starting to believe this free pass thing a little bit, huh? Yeah, it's starting to feel that way. I got some sympathy for you XRP guys. Yeah, I'm being pushed into that corner. I really am. I don't know about that. A little cray-cray.
Well, hold on though. You were there at the beginning, Charles, with Vitalik. Why aren't you coming out and having discussion with you and Gavin Floyd? I think it was Gavin. It was Gavin of Polkadot. You guys were all together here, and you were the founders of Ethereum. You should know what Lubin did back then. You should know what all the different law firms that were circling here that were involved, and you're being very silent about it. Were you just a developer, one of the better developers on the system, and you allowed Lubin and Vitalik to be like the dog and pony show out there? So we're actually wanting more from you than just actually coming back and saying, hey, well, I'm starting to believe it. If we go back, and you even made a comment over Vitalik saying he wasn't staking it, you made the point to Vitalik just yesterday that all of your Cardano is staked. So you're the founder of Cardano staked, but the founder of Ethereum has a very tiny portion. I want to really hear what's going on here at the very beginning. You were there. You were there, Charles. You know a lot more than I think you're talking about. You just don't want to get your hands dirty, but now your hands are filthy. All right, let's go continue here. This is a very interesting article. This is also off of Twitter. This is Cowboy Crypto. Give a shout out to him. He's fantastic. I mean, this guy all day, I think that's what he does all day, is he's just digging deeper on what's happening. Yesterday, there was a rumor going around that Gary Gensler was being resigned. I called it just a bunch of BS from minute one. I actually said that, if you called the psychic hotline, it would be more accurate than actually listening to any idiot that's on Twitter, that put this out. But this came out because I think that everyone is at the very end point of Gary Gensler. This is signed by 3 Republicans, and this is by Jim Jordan, James Cramer, and Patrick McHenry. They CC'd, which are the 3 Democrats that want nothing to do with holding Gary Gensler accountable. Okay, they all kissed SBF's ass right there. Look at him all the way through. Maxine Waters blowing kisses. Gerard just wants nothing to do with crypto, says it's garbage. Well, we know he's garbage. Let's go over it. This document says that they're going to the SEC and they're saying, we want to know every single communication device in which you're communicating outside of company SEC email. We want to know who's using what, because now the big rumor was 6 months ago, and it's back again, that Gary Gensler is using WhatsApp, and there's so many over at the SEC using WhatsApp. Now, why is this significant? Because they are conducting business and circumventing the system. And this is what is going on. It says, number 5, they're demanding, number 5, by no later than July 17th, explain whether the SEC employees, including yourself, have used off-channel communications to conduct official SEC business. If so, provide us a list of such platforms and all SEC employees have used off-channel communications for official business. See, what's happened is 2 years ago at the CFTC, or several years ago at CFTC, Gary Gensler was called to the Hill. And when he went to the Hill, he had what? Two different cell phones. He walked into committee. When they asked him about it, he said that he didn't know how to use the official email on his CFTC phone that was issued to him, but he knew how to use it on his personal phone. Okay, let me say that again. He walked in to the committee with two cell phones in his hand. We call one the secret phone, and the other one is what I conduct business with my wife, and the other one's my girlfriend phone, right? That's what he did. And so now they're all tired of it because they know that he has been such the bad guy here, that he's been conducting business off channel. So this has been a big topic. We're gonna find out here in a couple weeks. I would prefer, instead of them actually acting nice here, just start throwing subpoenas out. Subpoena him, come up, the Freedom of Information Act, the FOIA request that keeps getting blocked by the SEC, the SEC is being sued over. Guys, you need to go in there and tear it up. And the Department of Justice is not going to help you. So subpoena power is, and you go after them, and let's get them contempt of court or contempt of Congress. Let's put them in a bad situation. And maybe Maxine Waters and Brad Johnson and Gerard, maybe they'll wake up and realize that this guy is bad for business for elections coming up, because this is becoming an election issue. All right, next article here. This is very interesting. It says XRP-based hedge fund filed with SEC raises new expectations. Wow, gets no publicity whatsoever, does it? We keep hearing about all these Bitcoin ETFs going in and out. But we're finding out that it says Patrick L. Riley, and he's been very active on Twitter lately. He's really the big anti-Gary Gensler. He says CEO of Reap Financial has hinted in an exciting development for XRP. He stated on Twitter that Arrington Capital, a digital asset management firm in blockchain-based capital markets founded in 2017, has recently filed with the SEC for an XRP-based hedge fund. Wow, this is groundbreaking. But of course, you're not going to hear it from the media because the media wants to sell you on Bitcoin. That's the narrative. But this is kind of crazy. We're going to see it. It's all coming out. Once the judge comes out, and hopefully she gets a very positive outcome on secondary sales of XRP. We know it's decentralized. Gary Gensler called it a cryptocurrency. Back, 4 years ago, he called it a cryptocurrency. And now he's calling it a crypto security. Come on, dude. You're just, yeah. So we're going to see this happen. Once this happens, and the utility comes to fruition, not speculation on Bitcoin and not the poor network of Ethereum, but when you see utility being used like it's being used right now, and we're seeing it in their quarterly reports, Ripple's quarterly reports for XRP, we're going to see people flood in this because it makes sense. They need to see earnings. They need to see everything going forward in a upright manner, meaning it has to be above board. It can't just be a bunch of speculation and manipulation. All right, so let's jump into NFTs. We're going to welcome in our producer, Emi. How you doing, Emi?
I am great. How are you?
This is a story that is not going away. Mm-hmm. We said it. Either you do it perfect or you get punished.
Yep, absolutely.
And this is exactly what's happening with Azuki Elementals. And Azuki itself, as we were kind of stunned last Friday when we did OG Crypto and NFTs, that Azuki, who's one of the only Ethereum-based blue chips, was holding up, completely collapsed last week.
Yeah, a lot of the people who did opt in on the new Azuki collection were super disappointed that it was basically just a shittier copy-paste original. So it makes sense to me that this would, occur like this. And unless they're able to pull another golden skateboard out of their asses, I don't know what's going to happen for them.
Well, now that there's a Azuki DAO that's coming out, and they're trying to discuss what they want to do with everything here. It doesn't, you hope that Azuki would have propped themselves up. They're kind of premier Japanese art.
Anime art style.
Anime
yeah.
art style, right? And you know, people really felt that the art was significantly better than anything else out there. We actually holders of Killer Girlfriend.
At the very least, it had its own unique style
Right.
that you could recognize immediately.
But now it looks like just a money grab. You got to think that the first 10,000 of these were grabbed at 2 ETH.
Yeah.
Right? And usually what a lot of these collections do is that they'll sell out everything and they'll have a coming soon look to it.
Yeah.
And then they'll reveal it after everything's sold out because they want the reaction. They don't want to be part of the initial reaction. So if it's negative, then they can't sell out, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like a complete money grab for Azuki. And now it's turned really rotten.
Maybe for us Killer Girlfriend holders, this will be good long term.
Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, you know, Killer Girlfriend has kind of held up, even though we saw, you know, Ethereum-based NFTs are just absolutely falling apart.
Plummeting, yeah.
Right, they're plummeting, and you know, we're seeing, you know, Rarible or Blur or even, you know, ordinals from Bitcoin. We're just seeing them kind of, you know, dissect the Ethereum side really badly.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I don't see anyone from Ethereum even caring.
Yeah.
You know, they don't whatsoever. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. This is the July 3rd edition, which we'll get that out here. Most people will be looking at July 4th. You guys have a fantastic holiday here if you're in the United States. If you're outside the United States, you know what? Have an adult beverage.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself. Not financial advice, not alcohol advice either. Guys,
Bye.
take care.